Hey, welcome to Malt Muser Whiskey Reviews. I am Eric. Today on the bar for review, Caol Ila, 11-year-old single malt Scotch from independent bottler Berry Brothers in Rudd. As always on the channel, I'm going to give you a nose taste finish review of this whiskey. I'll chat a bit about the value, give you my final thoughts and the final score, leave you with the malt musing as always. But first, a bit about Caol Ila, Berry Brothers in Rudd in this 11-year-old single malt. So Caol Ila is a Islay single malt distiller located on the island of Islay. Caol Ila is predominantly used in a lot of different blends, but they do a really nice range of their own single malts. And so this one in particular is bottled by Berry Brothers in Rudd, which is an independent bottler. So if you don't know a lot about independent bottlers, basically this is a pretty common in the Scotch whiskey distillery community, is that independent bottlers will purchase specific casks and either mature them in their own warehouse, add finishes, things like that. And so what Berry Brothers in Rudd has done here with this Caol Ila is bottled a 11-year-old version. So this was bottled in 2019, distilled in 2007. It is at 55% ABV, 11 years old. It says right here, unchill, filtered, and natural color. And so what you often find with a lot of independent bottlers is they will bottle their stuff in the most natural presentation possible. So the regular Caol Ila 12-year-old, for example, which is bottled at 43% and released under the regular Caol Ila brand name. You can tell by this one, you're getting a closer to cask strength version, which they indicate right here is cask strength. And they are not chill filtering or coloring this whiskey in any way. So pretty exciting. Independent bottled single malt scotches can be found in most whiskey shops. There's a lot of different brand names. And this one in particular, this is what the bottle's looking like. So Berry Brothers in Rudd. You can see it is a nice straw golden color. We'll tell you a little bit about what this says on the bottle before we get into the whiskey. So here's what it has to say. A little bit about the distillery itself. And it also says something about the independent bottler, which is located in London. Berry Brothers in Rudd can trace its origins back to 1698, and today it remains a family-owned business trading from the same historic premises on 3 St. James Street. So, very cool. Caol Ila is distillery to be found near Port of Skag on the island of Islay, facing the south of Sound of Islay to neighboring Jura. The whiskey is very well respected for both its distinctive smoky briny style and elegant fruity balance. And just like it does on the tube, it says here, unchill filtered natural color, cask strength, 11 years old. It even has a cask number for folks who pay attention to such things. All in all, really nice presentation. All right, so let's get this Caol Ila 11 in the glass. Okay, so I will show you the color now. The natural color. This is what we're looking at. A very light, kind of light straw yellow, a little bit of gold kind of color. Looks really nice. Okay, let's get into this, y'all. Immediately on the nose, it smells powerful. You're getting peat smoke, kind of a slightly medicinal kind of campfire peat smoke, mixed in nicely with some citrus, lime, lemon. Also a vanilla note. It smells very just kind of robust, acidic. Yeah, some slight fruit, slight kind of maybe tropical fruit in it. But mostly what I'm getting is lemon. Maybe there's a little hint of kind of like a pineapple even in this. But all in all, ashy, campfire smoke pretty much dominates the nose with these nice, slightly fruit balanced, slightly vanilla notes popping up in the background. All in all, very nice on the nose. All right, let's give this a taste. Cheers, y'all. Immediately, peppery, rich citrus, full flavor hits your tongue. Slight sweetness. As it develops, you get a bit more of a smoky pepperiness. There's an ashy note, which is definitely coming off that peat smoked barley that is in this whiskey. A little bit of a cocoa, a little bit of vanilla, slight lemon. It is both pretty full body, oily, and yet at the same time kind of light. It's kind of an interesting body on this whiskey. It definitely coats the mouth. It's juicy. I'm also getting even a little bit of this like kind of juicy fruit gum, kind of just like a really sharp sweetness. But it's all couched in this kind of nice ashy peat smoke. A little bit of a slight black pepper, white pepper thing going on. And then leaving you at the end here on a kind of medium finish, medium to long finish almost, with a nice citrus, ashy, vanilla, slight menthol note. All in all, this is just like a really full whiskey, nice ride all the way through. Impressive out of that 55% ABV. You can really tell that there's a lot packing a punch in this whiskey. Let's put a little bit of water on it. As I mentioned, at 55% ABV, we're going to bring this down just a little bit with about a teaspoon and a half, some water. So the nose, ashiness takes a little bit of a background. That smokiness kind of moves aside a bit. And what you're getting now instead, a little bit more brine, kind of saltiness. Just seaweed, sea air kind of smell. Likely just from the sodium, but it's definitely a note in here. Getting a bit of sweet malt, so a bit of honey. This is actually a bit more complex now on the nose with the addition of water. Lemon lime. And apple, pear. A bit more of the fruit notes coming through. I can tell you right away on the nose, while the heavy peat smoke does take a step back, you really do get a bit more of the complexity making itself known with the addition of water. Wow, really great. Give another taste here. Delicious. Again, immediately, really intense, full flavor, oily, viscous, coats the mouth, slight vanilla, slight caramel, and then develops into that kind of slight peppery note. You're getting more of those fruit notes now, apple, pear, melon kind of thing as it develops. Vanilla is still there. Smoke is there, but it's definitely working more harmoniously now with the other notes, which I'm really enjoying. Salty, especially as it goes into the finish. Salty note, lemon, kind of like a lemon creamy vanilla mix, almost like a lemon meringue pie kind of thing. Really good. I mean, this is a really just solid Islay single malt scotch. Again, slight menthol at the end, just hanging on a little bit. Really nice ride. Solid whiskey. Okay, so a bottle of Caol Ila 11 independent bottling from Berry Brothers and Rudd. This will run you in that about $60 to $65 range, and is not always the easiest thing to find. This one will require a little bit of hunting, but it's not exclusive. I think this is a great value, considering that the regular Caol Ila 12, which is bottled at 43%, is something you can find for right around the same price, but at a much lower ABV. I think you're getting a good bang for your buck with this, so I think this is a good value. This is one to definitely keep your eyes out for, whether you shop at places like Total Wine. Maybe you have a good boutique liquor store in your community that you frequent that sells a lot of stuff that's not, as mainstream. This Caol Ila 11 from Berry Brothers and Rudd is something to keep your eyes out for. Okay. So my final thoughts here. This is a really great Islay whiskey. Unlike Laphroaig or Ardbeg, this isn't that kind of earthy road tar medicinal peat smoke. This is much more of a kind of citrus campfire smoke. And you have these extra just complementary notes that are both light and yet intense, which is coming from that 55% alcohol by volume. It's a really great ride. It's a great kind of change of pace if you're somebody who's into kind of the more traditional Islay single malt scotches. I think this is one of the better Caol Ilas that I've had. And my final score with all that in mind is going to be a 4 out of 5, which is going to be that I recommend buying yourself a bottle of this. This is a great pour. This is something I'm going to enjoy for quite some time, and really complements the sometimes unexplored greatness that you can find in a lot of independent bottlers who, you know, for folks just getting into whiskey may stick to the more traditional distillery release name brand stuff. Keep your eyes peeled for independent bottlings. Oftentimes you will find them that at a much more natural presentation of no chill filtration, natural color, and at a higher ABV, even in sometimes cask strength at this one. So 4 out of 5 is my final score for the Caol Ila 11-year-old at cask strength from Berry Brothers and Rudd. And with that, I will raise my glass to you, send you over to your malt musing. Please do hit subscribe if you've yet to, and I'll catch you next time here on Malt Muser Whiskey Reviews. Sláinte, y'all.